Women are hardwired to deceive men, and this is why men going their own way will bankrupt society. Today's video comes from Olivia Alexa. Her channel is linked in the description, so you can go check her out and support her. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Hi guys, this is the dark truth about women. Nature and evolution don't play fair. They use every tool to ensure survival and reproduction. Things like genetic differences, adapting to the environment, and getting rid of the weak are all part of how evolution works. But there's one tool nature uses that nobody talks about: deceit. Humans, like some apes, are one of the only species where females have developed the ability to hide when they're fertile. That evolutionary trick has completely changed how human relationships and social interactions work. I want you to really think about this. Knowing when a woman is fertile is key to getting pregnant. Women today have to track their cycles, use fertility monitors, and plan for it. But in other species like apes, fertility is obvious. There's a physical change that signals it to males. So why would something as important as fertility be hidden in humans? Here's the cold hard truth. The ability to hide fertility evolved so women could avoid being tied down by one man, giving them the advantage of more freedom in selecting men. This lets a woman be more promiscuous and reduces a man's certainty that child is his. It sounds dark, and it is, but nature doesn't give a damn about ethics or morals. It's about survival. The ability to hide fertility gives women a serious advantage. First and foremost, it lets them be more promiscuous, picking from a wider pool of men, as I said before. Secondly, it allows them to run a dual mating strategy, getting the best genes from the dominant high-value man who won't commit, while tricking a lower-value guy into providing for the child, thinking it's his. Throughout history, this isn't anything new. Women have been doing this for forever, and this is also one of the reasons why women freak out at the idea of a man wanting a paternity test. Throughout history, women have used this to their benefit, engaging in sperm competition where multiple men's sperm compete to fertilize her egg. It's raw biology at work. Women can sleep with several men in a short amount of time, ensuring only the strongest, most competitive sperm wins. Think of it as male competition for females, but it's happening inside her body. Hidden fertility gave women an even bigger edge in societies that practice shared parenting, where the kids were raised as a group. In these setups, raising kids wasn't just the biological parent's job. It was the whole tribe's responsibility. With multiple men involved, none of them could be sure if that child was theirs, which worked in the woman's favor. This uncertainty made men more likely to step up, protect, and provide, just in case it was their offspring. Women leveraged this strategy to carry the child of the man that they really wanted, while still getting the resources and protection from the rest, guaranteeing the survival of their offspring. What you see in society today, from relationships to social structures, is all rooted in these cold biological truths. Reducing certainty of paternity for men is the key that opens up a world of sexual options for women, while making them even more selective about which genes they let into the next generation. Modern DNA tests might reveal the truth, but they can't undo the instincts women have developed over thousands and thousands of years of evolution. Even male jealousy is tied to this. It's part of the mate guarding instinct, which is a response to the uncertainty men have always faced when it comes to paternity. Men throughout history understood one thing: to avoid getting tricked, they had to keep their woman away from other potential men. Evolutionary psychology even has a term for it: the cuckoldry risk hypothesis. It's the idea that men on an instinctual level knew the risk of the paternity uncertainty that comes with women hiding their fertility. They developed all kind of ways to make sure that they weren't fooled into raising another man's child or advancing somebody else's genes. It's hardwired into them. These deep-rooted sexual strategies were kept under wraps for a long time by society, gender norms, and the institution of marriage. But in today's free-for-all dating market, those instincts are exposed, and women's bodies have evolved to use these strategies for their benefit. These tactics haven't disappeared, they've just adapted. As a man, if you don't understand how these things work, you're setting yourself up to get played.
Guys, and this is why I often tell you, women are not different around the world. All women are women, but, some women are conditioned to behave differently, but they all want the same things ultimately: a provider and a protector. But the very notion that a woman is virtuous is problematic. It's one of the things that continuously bothers me, and it's like it's something that's wrong with the brains of these men. You know, on this channel, in this community, men walking away, we have men from different backgrounds. We have single men, we have married men, we have MGTOWs, we have passport kings. We have all of these men who come from all of these various backgrounds, and they share their experiences. But one thing that continuously bothers me is with some of these guys who are dating or are married overseas. They act like they have won the lottery. When they go and they find themselves a woman who is from, East Asia, and they'll say things like, "Oh, my wife is a Filipina, and we've been married this many years, and it's perfection, and blah," and they act like the Filipina will never cheat on them. Or they say that my wife, and I see it all the time, my wife is Japanese. We've been together for 17 years. And they leave that there as though they're trying to imply that you're not going to get screwed in Japan, which is an absolute lie. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I obviously have a preference for Japanese women. And it's something that I've tried to mitigate for a very long time, but that's just I don't want to say unfortunate, but it's just my preference. But I am culturally aware that you are not going to go to Japan and find a DeWalt. Such things do not exist. You can get screwed in different parts of Japan. I mean, I talk to my Yumi all the time about it, and she'll often recommend sticking with a specific place in Japan or serving as a guide for me. And a lot of men do not comprehend that you can get screwed as a man no matter where you go. Women are not virtuous just because they are of a different ethnicity. And a lot of guys do not comprehend this, or a different culture. It's a very, very dangerous game that is being played. I remember many years ago, a friend of mine went to Japan. And as soon as he got off the plane, he had, met this girl online. This was a long time ago. He had met this girl online, and as soon as he got off the plane, they got together. They went to like a club, and then she was like, "You want to get out of here?" And he's like, "Huh? What do you mean?" And she's like, "You want to go to a hotel?" Because she became very direct. So they went to the hotel, and they basically then hooked up at the hotel. And after hooking up at the hotel, she then goes on to say to him that she's married, and that he should never get married because Japanese marriages are just very miserable sex-less marriages. And that's just the nature of how it is. This has been going on in Japan for a very long time. It is not, and I've known this, it is not uncommon for Japanese wives to cheat on their husbands. And you know this because it's not uncommon for Japanese men to cheat on their wives. In Japan, it's typically not frowned upon by many to cheat. It is a very normal thing. And it isn't, and some of the things I've learned about this practice is absolutely eye opening. So you do need to take these things into deep consideration. When it comes to Western society, men are buyers and women are sellers. And, what women have done, being allowed to go out and be liberated, they don't comprehend if what they're selling is no longer desirable for men, then men are not going to buy it. Most men today, if a bachelor's tax was introduced, would prefer to pay the bachelor's tax any day than actually, having to be married. So, oh, if you're not married, if you get married, you don't have to pay the bachelor's tax. Most men would pay the bachelor's tax. And the idea here is that, well, the government would then take that money and reallocate it to women and then use it to provide for women. Here's the thing about that. That would not happen. That would not happen in the way you believe. Even if the government was going to take 100% of money collected through bachelor taxes and use that money to provide for women, it would never be enough. The reason why is because when women are married, they are benefiting from shared resources, which means that a man is providing housing, so she's living in his housing. She's using the same utilities, so she's benefiting from the utilities. They're sharing food. She's benefiting from the food. Okay? So her cost of living is substantial, it's very, very low. And the benefit that she gains is not a benefit that society could provide to her through taxation of men, because they would have to provide money to cover housing, money to cover food, money for healthcare, money for every aspect. These are the things that the men provide that most women don't take into consideration. So the state cannot subsidize all of these things for a woman, nor would it even desire to. Think about it logically. Do you think that the state is just going to give women free money like that? No. The reason why women get money from the state is as a reward for reallocating wealth, or more so an incentive for reallocating wealth and resources from men to the state. When women collect public assistance, that money is not free. That is money that's tax money. That is money that is taken from men. Men pay 80% of all taxes, women make 80% of all consumer purchases. So when the state is taking that money from taxes and using it to give help women who are on public assistance, they're still getting it back because a lot of these women are going to live in things like, let's say, public housing. So who are the people who work in public housing? Okay, people who work for the state. So it's going right, guys. The money is always being funneled right back to the state in one way or another, and it gives the state the ability to allocate, to touch those funds and to funnel money to itself. In a way, it's basically how they clean their dirty money as well, or steal public money. Yeah, think about that carefully. But if you have women who are single and they are not providing any value to the state, they are not making it feasible to get to transfer wealth from men to the state, then they're not going to just get this free money unless they're able to use the criminal court system, the civil court system, the family court system, the divorce court system to reallocate wealth and resources from men to the state. Unless they're involved in this scheme, then they are not going to benefit from it, and the state is not going to provide for them, at least not very much. Will women always have more privileges than men? Of course, because are women are agents of the state while men are prisoners of the state. But don't misunderstand, neither of us are free. Women are just given special privileges while men are given special punishments. But the purpose remains the same, that we are under the control of the state. Things are not heading in a good direction for modern women because women are sellers, men are buyers. But if men no longer want to buy what women are selling, you end up with a surplus of something that no one wants. Women are not designed to be alone. Women are not designed to survive without a husband. Many of you who say things along the lines of, "Oh, I know women who've been living single for many years and they're just fine without men." Much of this is not true. Are they relying on their children? Are they relying on a man that you do not know about? Some people do not even realize. They'll see a woman who has been supposedly single for very long, and little do you know that this woman has a man. All right? Trust me, I know this as a fact because I've had family members who have done this, where these women are basically mistresses, and they have men who were married, and these men have will take care of them for decades. Okay? That's his mistress. That's his side chick. And that man is there taking care of them, watching over them, providing for them for many, many years, even though he also has a wife and children. And this is basically a normal practice that women have engaged in forever. But we do not speak of said practice. Most women cannot survive in this world without men. The women in the world are helpless without men. Okay? Women are helpless without men. Men are the protectors of women. Men are the protectors of society. We're the gatekeepers of prosperity. We are the gatekeepers of we are the gatekeepers of the of survival. There's this notion that women are the gatekeepers of sex, but even then you have to question it because men can say no to as well. Think about this notion of this. A single woman gets pregnant, she's out of the game. Of course, there are still simps that will go and try to mess with her, but the moment that she gets pregnant, that's it. She's out for 9 months, and even after that, her availability is limited. Without the state intervening and holding men accountable and taxing them for child support, you know, it's a completely different ball game. The reality is that a woman gets pregnant, she is out for the count. A man, on the other hand, can go and get an infinite number of women pregnant almost. Okay? It's insane. This is the reason why people like Genghis Khan evidently had something like, I believe, thousands of children and like what, millions and millions of of ancestors. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. You have to wake up and realize we are the gatekeepers of everything. God is the gatekeeper of salvation. Ultimately, women do not understand the position that they are in, or more so, they're trying to deceive men so that men do not understand just how powerful they are. And with so many men deciding that they no longer want to marry or have children, women are losing women are losing the battle in this front, more so the war. So while men have lost many battles with things like M2 and so forth, we're looking at the great collapse, the great V collapse of 2020, whatever, and it's going to hit pretty hard because women are going to find themselves unable to find a suitor. You're going to have a surplus of women and a dwindling supply of men who are interested in being in relationships with women. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Inside, you'll get exclusive videos, top tier expat and passport bro travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, pop culture and geek culture commentary, and hard hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers have access to videos, podcast articles, and the community chat, plus receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for subscribing, just for joining. Paid subscribers unlock even more value, including exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24 Hours ebook, wealth building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us today by clicking the link in the description and take your journey to the next level. We have a video from Riva TV, and this kind of illustrates what ends up happening and the consequences of hypergamy. We know that Tia Mowry basically left her husband because she was bored in the marriage, but admits he was a very good husband. He's a guy who's like 6 feet tall. He has, like, he's muscular. He is very handsome. He is wealthy. He is an extremely famous actor, and he was also a very good husband. And what did she do? She said she got bored in her marriage. She graduated from her marriage. She went back to the streets, and now she's crying everywhere over the situation. So Riva TV basically jumps into this because now Tia Mowry is begging her ex-husband to come back. Let's just go ahead and jump into the video and explore what's happening here. And you can also check out Riva TV's channel, link in the description, so you can go and support her. And now let's just go ahead and jump right back in.
I don't get why I'm still single.
I hate when this stuff happens because it makes me feel like I've made a mistake. I don't want to be alone, So when I'm going through these challenges, sometimes you want to go back.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I am back again with another video. Now listen, okay? When it comes to this Tia Mowry saga, I gotta tell you, Tia Mowry comes on the internet and she lets everybody know, without necessarily coming out and just being forthcoming and saying it, that she regrets the divorce, she misses her husband, and she is struggling out here trying to maintain this single motherhood. I could do battle by myself. I didn't need him. I graduated from the marriage narrative. Every chance that she gets on the internet, it is a constant reminder of the fact that she don't got it. You know how people be like, it's cool, I got it. She lets us know all the time, I don't got it, y'all. I don't got it, and there's no other way for me to try to figure this out, but I have to stand 10 toes down because I don't want this sisterhood to be mad at me.
I don't get why I'm still single. Like, I'm putting myself out there.
Recently, for Halloween, Tia Mowry and her 2 children dressed up as the characters from the Disney movie, or the Pixar, Disney and Pixar, I think, movie Monsters Inc. Now, if you look at the Monsters Inc. picture, the little girl is who goes by the name of Boo, is, dressed, as we can see, with the pigtails and everything, the same exact outfit that Tia Mowry has on. Now, I gotta be honest, I have to address this, because after we saw the clip of Tamara, revealing that Tia Mowry is somebody who is extremely selfish.
Wait, I know you as being selfish all the time, so that's not how I know you as being selfish.
This situation also brought light to that entire conversation all over again. Now, a lot of people on the internet, whether it was TikTok, Instagram, a lot of people had to say, Tia, why is it that you felt the need to stand in front and shine as the little girl in the movie, when you have your daughter dressed up as one of the monsters from the movie, and you didn't put her in that character and allow her to be the forefront? We can see right here in the comment section that the person says, now Tia, why weren't you Mike and your daughter Boo? Mike is the character that's in the green, so they're saying, why didn't you just take the role of that character and let her be Boo?
The reason is quite simple. It's because Tia is a narcissist and believes that she is always going to be the star of the show. She probably thought that she was the star of Sister Sister when that really wasn't the case. And now she thinks that she's the star of, the star of the world or something like that, because she's on full display showing everyone how, she can do bad all on her own while she's crying at home. And this is basically just an adventure for her, because now she wants her husband back, but she's too arrogant to admit to it openly, even though she does say it quite privately, or in a variety of different ways. The things that she's doing right now are destroying her credibility. They're destroying her image. None of us want to see Tia Mowry, dropping it like it's hot and backing it up on social media. We don't expect this type of behavior from these girls. No, I'm just being very, very serious. It's like what happened with Miley Cyrus, where Miley had a wholesome image, and she could command, many of the top men in Hollywood, but it was because of that wholesome image. It's okay if, you have a little, a little something here and there. Oh, look, Miley dressed a little promiscuous, provocative here. But, the kinds of things Miley was doing, it destroyed her image and it destroyed her brand. And she apologized to Disney recently. Literally, she was, they brought her in for the Disney Stars thing, and they inducted her into this Disney Hall of Fame. And in her speech, she apologized to Disney for what she had done. She literally used the words, "I'm sorry, Mickey." And this highlights the consequences that women will face socially. I know it because a lot of you guys are overseas in places like the Philippines, in places like Thailand. I saw a comment today from a subscriber who said that the simp economy has moved overseas. I'm over in Thailand and I see them every day. These simps walking around with individuals who are TRASH. You have these, and I'm not saying that, I don't want to characterize it like this, but you have people who are bar girls who worked in the bars, and they basically were sleeping around, and now these are the women that these men are jumping into relationships with and treating like they're princesses. The simp economy has moved overseas.
And you can see people responding and said, that's the first thing I said too. She needed that attention. And somebody said, I wanted that also. And somebody else said, because she is a narcissist. Now, throwing around the word narcissist and stuff like that, I don't personally do that. I see a lot of people do that. They just, try to name and brand these people certain things. I just see selfishness, right? I just see spotlight, you wanting to be at the forefront. But to me, that's neither here nor there. That's just all left to opinion. I hope that the baby wanted to be that character, and that's why she was that character, and it was not a situation of her trying to be the star of the show. Okay? Again, this is all just my personal opinion.
We all damn well know that if they were going to cosplay Dora the Explorer, Tia would have to be Dora, her son would be Diego, and the little girl would be the backpack because Tia is a narcissist.
What really stuck out to me in this entire situation was Tia Mowry's caption under this picture on her Instagram. The caption reads, "Traditions mean togetherness, love, and joy. But when life changes, those traditions can feel uncertain. My goal has always been to create lasting memories as a family and as a mom. I'll keep doing just that."
Let me tell you one of the things that's dangerous about Tia. We better keep an eye on her son and even on her daughter because this is a woman who will mess up her children. This is a woman who will break her children psychologically. She will expose her children to things they should not be exposed to. She will expose her son to things that he should not be exposed to, the things that she should simply not discuss with him. And she is going to do this to damage him mentally and psychologically so that he struggles to have healthy relationships with women, so that he struggles to form good friendships, so that he will never leave her. Okay? This is something that women do psychologically, subconsciously, or even consciously to ensure that their children are just capable enough of going out there and holding a job. Sometimes not even that, but not capable of forming meaningful relationships or surviving in society without mommy because of all the PTSD or correction, CPTSD that they've inflicted upon them. And it's a sick society. It's a sick reality. And it's sad that's where we are right now. Men are not going back. Most men will never go back to this reality. Guys, we're out here living our best lives. We're out here buying the things that we've always wanted. We're out here being selfish. You know, I'm picking up a gaming laptop. I've talked about it, and it's going to be a doozy. You know, I there's this whole buy it nice or buy it twice thing. I never, I never thought I would ever do something like this, like spend 3K on a on a gaming laptop, and it's basically buy it nice or buy it twice. And it's because you're single why you can now say, okay, I can do this, I can afford this, and I can prioritize myself and play the games that I want to play and not have to worry about a relationship. Like they're trying to bring back the STRIP CLUB scene in New York, and it's not going to happen. Men are not going to go back out to these clubs. They're going to keep their money for themselves.
Experiences stay with us forever, and I hope my kids hold these moments close to their hearts. Halloween was such a special time. Disneyland is where we keep the magic alive. So much laughter, so many smiles, and yes, a little exhaustion too. My bangs in the last slide said it all. Now, the thing is that the traditions being different, like this is not the first Halloween where Corey and Tia are not together. Okay, this is not like this is something that just happened yesterday or whatever, and she's just now getting through it. If people did not know the depths of the situation or when she posted about the divorce, they would have assumed that this is something that literally just happened like yesterday. Tia is constantly living in the decision that she made. And again, in my personal opinion, I believe that it's because she understands that she made a permanent decision out of emotion, and she does not or has not been able to figure out how to dig herself out of the decision. And so she's still stuck in that moment.
I just wanted to share something with you guys. This actually comes from Rand Paul. So he's also on Substacks, and he actually just posted this. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion is RACIST. Agree or disagree? And basically, this comes from the desk of Donald Trump. DEI is imploding along with the Democrat Party. Guys, all of this crap that's happening is beginning to fall apart around us. Women chose the bear, so now they can go and play in the forest. Go hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo and let them provide for them. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Men going their own way will bankrupt society because men will no longer subsidize the living of women, and society cannot afford to subsidize them. This is what led to the fall of the Roman Empire, where by the time the empire was about to fall, men had walked away from society, and all the resources in the empire were being used to subsidize women. As a result, the emperor had no clothes. Men had walked away from serving in the military. Men had walked away from gathering resources. The empire was operating almost entirely upon, SLAVE labor, and it was ripe for the picking. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.